I'm a bitch, I'm a lover, I'm a child, I'm a mother, I'm a sinner, I'm a saint. I do not feel ashamed. I'm your hell, I'm your dream. I'm nothing in between. You know you wouldn't want it any other way. I'm a bitch, I'm a tease, I'm a goddess on my knees. When you hurt, when you struggle, I'm your traitor angel undercover. I've been dumped, I'm revived. Uh, hey y'all, welcome to the Shade of It All. I'm Brandon.
I'm Maggie.
And today we are discussing Traitors. The last 3 episodes of Traitors.
Mm-hmm.
It's our final Traitors episode. How are we feeling?
We're feeling good. If
Yes.
you have only been listening to Traitors episodes, tune into the episode on Potomac where we explain why we had to take a brief break. We had some
Yes.
technical issues. But we're here. All the Traitor episodes are out, so we're going to cover them.
We are wrapping this season up. Low-key, thank God. It was getting stale. TBH.
Yeah, they really, all of the best people got banished or murdered, so it was really becoming not fun anymore. It's not fun when you just like the person who is winning is just winning and there's no competition. Like that's not fun.
Yeah, it's like when you know what's going to happen and then what you knew was going to happen ends up happening.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh,
You have a
okay.
slither of hope and then you just feel foolish for hoping.
You just feel utterly foolish. You feel so stupid.
Every time I'm like, no, they're gonna vote for him, and they don't. I'm like, ah.
No one votes for him. I'm like,
I hate you
oh,
guys.
okay. Cool. So starting with episode 10, Maura and Rob arrive to breakfast and she asks how they're still here. And I'm like, keep asking yourself that.
Why are you here, Maura? Who would it benefit to keep you here? It's a good
I
question.
think it would benefit, I don't know.
Oh, she's so pretty.
Oh, and then yes, how episode 9 ended, it was Natalie, Tara, Johnny, and Kristen were up for murder and they had the Jack in the Box.
Yes.
So Maura tells us she finds it hard to have new people come into her life, but she really trusts Rob. Girl, you're in danger.
Damn.
Oh,
That's
damn.
crazy.
She tells Rob she'd be in shock if he was a traitor. And this is where Rob tells us that he's feeling low and can feel the weight of his lies. He's finding it hard to distinguish it being a game and using a person he likes. I'm like, oh, so now it's not just a game. When it was Candace, it was just a game.
He's just saying shit. I don't believe him.
Agreed. Eric and Mark arrive. Eric thinks he handled the Kristen conversation well. Well, as Candy Burris once said, good thing you don't get paid for thinking.
I was going to say, you did not handle that well at all.
You walked away
Kristen
very sure you were a traitor.
She went up to Mark and Rob and they were like, if I die, it's Eric.
No, she said it to another traitor. But
it went well, dumbass.
Maura doesn't trust Johnny and Natalie, and Mark is considering Tara, but thinks she's a sweetheart. Tara arrives. She feels bad because her radar is so off, and she's afraid Johnny was murdered. She's like, why am I here? Oh,
shucks, I was wrong again. Because they all voted out. Why do I want to say his name is Jeremy? Steven.
That was the last. Why does that feel like 18 years ago?
It does. Maura is so Maura's the only faithful I actually feel bad for because I do really feel like she's giving it her best effort. Like she is
looking
Tara? At. What did I say?
Maura. It's very similar
no.
the names.
No, I don't mean Maura at all.
Oh.
I don't mean Maura at all. Because Tara will actually, if you give her a name, she'll actually consider it. Yeah. Maura doesn't really, consider certain people. But Tara actually, I feel like, is trying she is putting her feelers out. She's looking at stuff, and she just so happens to be wrong. And in this episode, I kind of feel bad for her.
She pissed me off this episode, but we'll get to it. Johnny arrives. Him and Tara tell everyone about the Jack in the Box murder. And then the last one to arrive, it's between Natalie and Kristen. And I was thinking it was gonna be Natalie murdered, but it ends up being Kristen.
It was smart.
It was. I just thought I was like, they could keep Kristen because it's just smoke on Eric, and she didn't tell too many people. So it could look suspicious if she kills her, but that would involve the faithful thinking logically. I give the faithful too much credit.
Right. Oh. And if we're thinking about it, I bet Rob doesn't care either way. Because if Eric has suspicion on him, then he can get Eric out. And it's not that deep for him.
Yeah.
So it's not that awful. But Kristen, of the people left, was the most critical thinker. She was like putting and I think that she could persuade people too. So they were smart to get her. She looked happy to go.
She did. She was fine with it. She was like, honestly, I'm at peace. I was the most faithful of the faithful. So is what it is. I'm like, I know that's right. Rob pushed for Kristen because Eric would only have sus from Mark potentially. And he says they need to get Natalie banished next because she's smart. And Natalie tells everyone she's going to be more open and observant, and she wants to make sure she doesn't have blind spots. And then Rob just tells everyone that he feels defeated and played. I'm like, how? I guess he's supposed to be close to Kristen, so maybe, but
anyways. I was like, what? That's weird. Why are you doing that?
What a weird statement.
What an odd thing to say.
Alan arrives, and he says that tomorrow is the final day. Tonight's roundtable will be the last one where the player's identity will be revealed. And he says this mission will make their heads spin. So after breakfast, Tara and Natalie talk, and Tara tells her, Natalie, you're definitely not a traitor. Like, I don't think that at all. And then she asks if they think it could be Rob. And I'm like, not Tara being the one to get Rob. I was like yelling watching this. I was like, wait a minute.
Yes, queen. Yes.
I was like, what a time to show up.
And Natalie was like, you know what? And I was like, we're doing it. We're going to the Super Bowl. We're doing it.
Yeah. She's like, you know what? Candace did throw out his name. And like, I've been close with Rob, but like, why would she do that? And then she keeps what she's doing, what Maura's doing, but she's actually thinking about the question. She's like, why am I still here? Like, it doesn't make sense. And then, so she's basically like, Rob's protecting me. Tara says Rob has created a presence in this castle that he's the least likely traitor. Maybe they need to start looking at him because it's so obvious. And I'm like, Tara, yes. Thank you.
Ma'am.
So logical.
You're doing so great.
Sound. This is so good. And I will note, Tara seems all in with Natalie to push for Rob.
Yes.
I repeat, she seems excited to push for Rob.
It was actually her idea.
Remember that. Mark asks Rob if he's a traitor. Look me in the eye and tell me you're not a traitor, or tell me you're a traitor or something. I'm like, I hate when people say shit like that. Like, and they Mark's can't tell you.
Rob's just like, are you serious? For real? Oh, yeah.
I believe you.
No, I'm a faithful.
It's like, okay.
Good job, Mark.
Great. Mark wants to look at people he hasn't looked at before, and he tells Rob it could be Eric because Kristen was questioning him. Rob says, I don't know, Eric. He's always been quiet, but I think Natalie could be because she didn't vote Candace out when everyone else did. Mark's like, that's a good point. I'm like, is it?
No, it's not. Because that night, Natalie was just being spiteful and voted for Tara because Tara voted for her.
Yeah.
Or because Tara threw her name out.
Why would you say my name? Natalie and Tara talk to Maura. And Natalie asks why she's here. And Maura asks the same question. And she's like, I'm shit at the missions. And I don't even know what I'm doing. Okay, now take that a step further. You're terrible at everything. Why are you here?
Who would benefit from your presence? They
Natalie
got all the
asks,
gamers out.
they
Well,
did.
Natalie's the only one left.
Now it's just Natalie. So, and she just,
It doesn't pencil.
it doesn't pencil, as Kyle Cook once said. It doesn't pencil. Um, Natalie asks why she thinks Candace mentioned Rob, and Maura thinks it was to be more consistent when at first it was a throwaway vote. So then she was just like, oh, let me do it again so I look consistent. And it's like, but why would she choose Rob as the throwaway vote?
Right. As someone who knew who other traitors were.
Because she was a traitor. um, but Maura just says it couldn't be Rob and that she would storm out of the castle if she was at the end with him and it's revealed he's a traitor. Natalie's heavy on Rob and wants to go bold and big and get people on her side. And I'm like, period, wake it up. Eric joins Rob and Mark with Johnny and they push for Natalie. They agree if they don't land a traitor tonight, they're fucked. We get to the mission. On the way, Tara tells Natalie and Johnny she's not going to second guess herself and she's going to stand in the fact that she thinks Rob's a traitor. I repeat, she's not going to second guess herself and she's going to stand in the fact that she believes Rob is a traitor. Annoying ass Maura tells Mark, Rob, and Eric about Natalie and Tara pushing for Rob. I'm like, what are you doing? Rob asks, what are the facts? And I'm like, there's no facts in this game, dumbass. Nothing's a fact. It's all just like hearsay and vibes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, can we not? And now Maura doesn't trust Natalie. And I'm like, God forbid, like, they're literally letting you in on the plan. You're so stupid.
Maura, man. Everything she does is just like, you did what?
You're so
That's
beautiful,
what I'm saying.
too. You look like a damn Barbie, but you're so dumb.
Rob really like made her trust him, which is so crazy because she saw him on Love Island. Not that he was, no, he was, I was going to say not that he was manipulative. He was super manipulative on Love Island. Like, come on, Maura, you didn't notice? You didn't notice at all? You're on After Sun. Y'all were talking about it.
Explicitly.
But this show's narrative was never against Rob.
Mm-hmm.
They always took his side, so maybe she just forgot. I don't know.
Probably.
I mean,
she didn't remember a conversation with Candace and Portia like 2 minutes before it being brought up again. God forbid she remembers a show from like 2 years ago almost.
Yeah, man.
She's like, I think he was on, but I don't remember. Did he win?
And then maybe it's also just that like she doesn't know anybody else. Like she knows him. She doesn't really know anybody else. And
I understand that part.
I think it was just like a familiar face. You're in a place where you don't know anybody and you're confused and it's stressful. And he carries you during missions.
But at one point, Maura, you gotta wake up. They get to the mission. Rob wants to get a shield, so everyone's up for murder. Good plan.
Good plan.
And the mission is this scary carnival themed thing. There's going to be a spinning carousel where they're going to get on, and after it spins, they have to run to get bags of gold and the stuffed animals, and they can't go back without gold. Eric and Tara aren't going to spin due to medical reasons they don't disclose. So there's going to be dolls in their place, to which I say this isn't fair because everyone's going to be dizzy except for them.
I was like, you can't. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Johnny says he's ready for this. Rob, they do the first round. Rob is last to find one, and it turns out they're going to remove his seat after each spin. So the last one there is going to win. Or by the end of the final round, whoever gets there first wins. Rob's out. He snaps on Mark for only getting one that's $750 and says like, oh, I just don't want to die. And like, this is just crazy. Like, you could have looked for more. And Mark's like, what the fuck? And Natalie's like, this is bad acting. To which I say, this is him.
Yeah.
This actually isn't acting. This is him under the pool thing.
It kind of is, honestly. He starts to show more. He got real comfortable. He's being his true self. But I was just like, why would you do that? Like, the goal is to get back to the thing as fast as possible. Like,
He's interesting. Second round, Natalie helps Maura rip out her bag of gold. She wants to get some credit with her so they can go after Rob. Little do you know, Maura's dumb, so that's not going to work. Um, the next one out is Johnny.
Yes.
Um, I will say that Maura was funny in this challenge. She like hates this game and is like struggling. Um, but in the third round, Mark's out. And then in the fourth round, two chairs are taken away and Tara and Natalie are out. So somehow, Magic Ears and Dumbass Maura are the final two on this. Um, and I wrote the worst traitor and the worst faithful. Uh, Eric ends up finding the final bag and he wins the shield. So the total money won was $24,500. Eric's happy they have the shield because they can murder Natalie if she doesn't get banished. And then on the car ride back, Rob thinks Natalie was recruited because she hasn't talked to him that much in the past few days. Natalie tells Johnny and Tara that Rob's acting was bad, and she counts the votes considering Rob's daggers. And she ends up saying that she does the math quick. And I'm like, how are you doing this? Like, I was like struggling to follow.
Oh, listen, on Survivor, they're constantly counting votes. Like it's
Yeah,
second, I'm sure it's second nature to her.
I'm sure. And so basically she says they need Mark and Eric on their side to get Rob out. Tara tells us that she shared Rob's name in confidence with Natalie, and now she's running with it. Girl.
What did you think she should do? They
You're
don't know how to
sounding.
play games.
She's like, why would she do this? You were a part of it.
You were a part of it. Also, Tara, if you want to get somebody out, you kind of need other people to help you do it. And we don't have a lot of time left. What are we sitting on it
The
for? Like,
final is tomorrow.
maybe Natalie didn't make it clear that she would tell other people, but I don't know why you would assume she wouldn't.
You literally went to Rob's number one.
I don't, yeah, and I don't get why you would not want her to.
Yeah. I will say Tara is worried about going after Rob because of the dagger and doesn't know if they should wait or not to go after him. I get being hesitant because of the votes, but I'm also just like, it's now or never. Like, you have to
Yeah,
try. Because my
you
thing's
do.
this, even if you don't get him out, if there's enough votes, like, there's the potential to, like, get him out in, like, the
The
future.
next one, yeah, you put some sus on him. See how he
Yeah.
behaves. Like, just throw it out there.
Mm. But
I don't
that's
think
where
she
my
knows
notes
how to
ended.
play. Yes.
No, she's figuring it out, and it's taking quite
It's
some
like a
time.
little. It's too late for all this,
She's
Tara.
like, I
Damn.
think I almost have it. Well,
Yeah, maybe she isn't trying very hard in hindsight. Scratch
mm,
what I said. I don't know. I'm on the fence about her.
it's
Okay.
conflicting. Oh,
They have dinner. Rob tells Natalie it's either um yeah, Rob tells Natalie that he thinks it's him or Mark that's gonna get murdered, which is weird. Like, I don't know. I don't know why
yeah.
you're doing all this, Rob.
I don't either.
Tara, Natalie, and Mark discuss Rob. And Natalie gives her spiel about like who is protecting me in the turret. And Candace voted for Rob. And he was being really weird at the challenge. Like they're all putting it up. And in his confessional, Mark kind of starts to doubt Rob a little bit. He's like, this kind of makes sense, and I do need to start thinking outside the box and
Hmm.
considering people who I haven't before. Um, Johnny tells Eric about Mark, or I mean about Rob. Why did I write Mark? Um, Tara, Rob, Johnny, Eric discuss Natalie. So they're all kind of in the like area where the bar is. And they're saying like, oh, Natalie was kind of being really weird at breakfast, like she was the last to come in. Um, that ends. Rob tells Maura that they need to get Natalie out today, and then they can get out Tara and Johnny next. And Maura seems like she's like part of that too. She's like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Johnny and Tara talk, and they wonder if they should follow the group, because they do need Mark and Eric, or and they're like, we've been wrong. Look, we've been wrong. The others are smarter than us. They kind of know what they're doing. Like, should we just go with them because they're saying Natalie, Or should we just do Rob because we think Rob? And so that's kind of where it's up in the air up to the round table. And it
Yeah.
does seem since morning they're not so hot on Rob anymore.
They're once again changing everything like they did
Hmm.
all season.
So we're going into the round table. Tara's confessional says she has tried to follow her heart and she doesn't want to be wrong. Mark says, wait, no, we're not. Sorry, this isn't confessionals. This is the actual round table. Tara starts off. Tara starts off by just being like, I don't know, guys.
Like,
Like,
I'm not going to
I
say
actually,
anything.
I don't want to speak today. I don't want to talk because I've been wrong before. Um, and Mark's
Really,
like, all right,
Tara?
anyway. Does anybody have anything they've been wanting to say that they haven't said before? And Rob chimes in and he's like, Natalie, I haven't suspected you, but the last few days I've noticed you've kind of been at a distance. And Natalie's like, I feel the same about you. And Rob's like, I want to know why you said the thing. Why'd you say the comment about gamers? So previously, Natalie made a comment like, I can't be a traitor because why would I get all the gamers out?
Yes.
Which is actually a good reason to get gamers out if you are a traitor.
Yeah, it
um,
could go both ways.
yeah. And Mark chimes in. He is like, I was actually wondering that too. Like, killing gamers would be brilliant, actually. Maura says, yeah, and you're saying like all your allies are gone and you're not a traitor, and that's weird because everybody's lost allies. Who are your allies? Wait, Maura, wait, actually, you're wrong. Who are you an ally of, Maura?
I just can't. I'm like, also, why are we overcomplicating this? Like, Natalie would get rid of all the other gamers because it would make her look less suspicious. And I'm like, how about Candace voted for Rob?
Literally, because we go on, because Natalie is like, look, I said that thing about allies because I feel like if I had somebody to speak up for me, it wouldn't be smart to get them out. I would want to keep people on my side who could advocate for me. But I've been wondering why I'm here. Maybe there's a traitor that's looking out for me. And that's why I suspect you, Rob. You said you were being weird at breakfast this morning. Candace voted for you. Like, I'm not sure about you. And Mark is like, yes, the Candace thing is weird because I wonder if she was like doing like a strategy play at that. And I was like, wow, Mark, yeah, that's like so interesting. It could have been a strategy, yeah. And Rob's like, well, can I defend myself? And I was like, that's a weird thing to say when you're not guilty.
Right.
Can I
I'm
have a
like,
chance to speak?
I guess. Yeah, we
I
were
mean,
talking, but
nobody
sure.
was really, but like nobody was really cutting. It was like the floor is open. Like you
Yeah,
don't need
it's
to
an
say,
open
"Can I defend
discussion.
myself?" Yeah, it's like,
Can I speak?
like actually, we were all waiting for you to talk. Um, he's like, I thought the Candace thing was weird, and Mara's like,
It was very weird. Why would she do that?
it was bad. And Natalie and Mark agree, but they also say that they have to use the information that they have. They have to work off of something. And Tara even mentions that she wonders if it was a breadcrumb. Breadcrumb. So Natalie then chimes in and she's like, I feel a bit blitzed right now. That's the word she used, right? I
I
was like,
think.
that's. And she's like, some people said something before, but now they're not. And Tara's like, oh, me, right? Me?
Yeah, you.
And I was like, yes, we discussed some ideas earlier. And then like Tara interrupts her and we kind of can't really even hear what either of them are saying. And Natalie's like, can I finish? And Tara's like, yes. And so Natalie keeps going and she's like, I had my guard down and I feel taken advantage of by you. And Tara's like, me? Yes, you. And Tara's like, you don't think so? Like, I'm putting myself out there to vote for Rob, a guy I trust, and now you don't know who you're voting for? You're unsure? And
Period.
Tara's like, Johnny, I think we need to speak up now. And Johnny's like, okay, yeah, like we weren't sold on like a name and we wanted to see if it was split or how this conversation was gonna go. And I was like, you guys don't know what to do. Like, this is not the time to be unsure. You have to write a name down.
And if you're two key players pushing this, at what point are you going to hear in this conversation anyone advocating or a majority advocating for your point. You're the majority trying to push this point. The only person you're going to hear is maybe Natalie. So like
You're right.
you have to add to it if you want to. If I, it's so frustrating.
And this may have worked in previous roundtables, but now that there's not so many of you left, like your two votes matter. So you need to say
Mm-hmm.
something. And Natalie's just like, you guys are sketching me out. I don't understand. And Rob's like, well, this is suspicious because you're just like going with them. You're very smart and you're just following them. Not that they're not smart, but you're just following these two dumbasses who don't know what the fuck is going on.
These fucking idiots on figure skate.
All they know how to do is skate. Like, they don't know how to play games. Why are you following them?
Mm.
And Natalie like looks like she's getting emotional. I can't tell if she started to cry or not. I think she did a little bit
I felt
because
bad
she's
for
like, "No, this is
Natalie.
weird." I felt so bad for her. She's like, "No, it's weird. I've spent the day with them and now they're like switching up and being weird." And Maura's like, "Well, it's been a day. Why would you trust them after a day? I don't think you should be trusting them." She's like, "Why would you go with Tara?" And Tara, why are you convincing Natalie? And Tara's like, "I didn't do that." And
Ugh.
then she interrupts, and even more is like, no, let me finish. You have no evidence. Why are you like telling Rob, saying Rob's name to Natalie? And Natalie's like, you guys are smart. I'm sorry I let my guard down. And time is up. This was a total shit show.
It was like they can't stick to a plan for shit.
Had they, and this is where like we talk, well, we'll get to it later, but like the faithful this season really suck. Like they can't even go into Roundtable and talk about a name. And I kind of get where Tara's coming from in the sense that she doesn't want to be wrong and whatever, but it's also like Natalie's on your side. Bring it
Fuck up,
up.
Buttercup. It's the finals. What the fuck are we talking about? It's called Traitors. We gotta get someone. Use your voice.
Use your voice, honey.
You're
Use your
actually
words,
right this
sweetie.
time. The one time you're right is when you want to be quiet.
Crazy.
Pissing me off. Damn, Tara.
Alan comes out and he's like, well, does the holder of the dagger want to use it? Rob does. So then they all start writing their votes down. And in a confessional, this is where all the confessionals are. Tara says she's unsure. Natalie is glaring at her now, and she doesn't know what to do. Rob says he's nervous. They brought up the Candace vote for, and you know that's always gonna make him like scared. And Natalie says she's very angry and she wants to go across the table and shake Tara. Fair. So it's time to vote, and I am thinking that it's gonna be between three people: Rob, Tara, and Natalie.
Mm.
Natalie votes for Tara, and all these other motherfuckers vote for Natalie. One by one, they all vote for Natalie. And I'm
Ugh.
like, damn. Even Tara and Johnny vote for Natalie. And I'm just like, we were talking about Rob though.
Don't you
Like,
dare tell me you're sorry. Don't fucking say that when you flip it and show my name. I'm like,
yeah, because
period.
Johnny, by the time it got to, because Rob votes first, that's two on Natalie, then Mark, um, Maura. And once Maura voted for her, it was a done deal, but we had to see. So Eric votes for her, and when Johnny's about to reveal her vote, she's like, "Don't say sorry. Just tell me who you voted for. Don't you fucking say sorry to me." And Johnny's like, "I voted for you."
Mm.
So Natalie goes up to the circle of truth, and she's crying now, and I feel so bad for her. Which is funny because all other times, like most of the time when Natalie's been doing something, I kind of felt like she was like annoying. She's a game player, she goes hard. I love her on Survivor, but on Traitors, I just felt like sometimes she just did too much. But
Hmm.
I felt so bad for her because she really didn't deserve this. Like,
No, they
I
like
get why
screwed
she
her
felt
over.
they really did. And maybe had she, I mean, she was gonna go anyway. I think Rob's plan was to vote for her, but just how she went down would have hurt my feelings too.
Hmm.
Natalie says, my whole life, I try to be so strong and I try to be present and I try to present, sorry, as tough. And sometimes it comes out with a negative of being judged, of being ruthless, cutthroat. But today, a gamer got played. I'm a faithful. Good job, guys. And she leaves. And Mark throws his card. He's like, ugh, ugh, I'm over
Uh,
it.
I'm like, oh, so you waking up to maybe Rob is the traitor?
Rob throws the dagger on the table. He's like, ah, man, damn it. Damn.
Mm, I hate
All
these
of their
people.
reactions suck. I was like, even Rob has been doing a lot. Like he does like all of these little things during the challenge, all this other stuff. I was like, y'all don't see that looks suspicious? Why throw the dagger? You wanted to vote for her.
I think it's not. I'm like, please.
And I think Alan says, more beautiful poetry, something to the effect of like, we've made a lot of mistakes at this table, but this is the worst one. Like you guys suck, go to sleep.
Yeah.
Um and Tara starts to cry and she's like, "Guys, I don't want to play anymore. I don't want to play anymore. I just make mistakes. Like, can whoever's doing the murdering, can you murder me tonight?" And they leave while she's talking.
You're like, okay, Tara.
And then I felt, and this is where I felt for Tara because I genuinely do think she is actually trying.
She
She
is.
just doesn't get what to do.
She's just very lost and confused.
I don't think anyone watched the show. I don't think
Right.
anyone. Like, only the game players have watched, and maybe Kristen. Actually,
Apparently,
I don't think
Mark
Kristen watched.
has watched all of them, all the different iterations and all the seasons. You wouldn't know from his gameplay, but he
Yeah,
said it.
that's insane, man.
Mm.
So they all kind of dismiss her, but Mark does stay behind and he gives her a hug, and she is weeping. Like, she feels so bad. Um, and then Johnny is kind of there to comfort her too. I don't know if he came back because I definitely saw his ass leave. So they're in the kitchen, and Maura and Rob are just like, it makes no sense. Why would Natalie vote for me? Like, it makes no sense. Why did she come after me? And Tara comes in and she cries more, and she's like, guys, I can't do this. I'm gonna quit. And she just feels really bad for Natalie. And Maura comes up to her and she's like, "But why are you crying? Like it's kind of a game still, but also like why'd you even vote for Natalie then if you're so upset about it?" And I
I'm
was
like,
like,
you know
"Why?
what? Not
It's
real.
true.
I can't.
It's
Oh my gosh. Good
her
point.
questions are fair, but maybe like not right now while she's crying."
Yeah. She's like, I can't do this. And Maura's just like, okay.
I mean, yes, you can. It's a game. It's a game, babes. She just went home.
Ugh,
We only have one day left. You can't quit now.
but I can.
I felt bad for her. This is when I was just like, I actually do think she's trying, and she's just stupid.
It was a wrong time to have such a dumb moment.
hmm
Mm.
Um, so Rob in his confessional says this was his toughest round table, but Natalie played it wrong. And I actually don't think she did. I think Tara and Johnny played it wrong.
Yeah.
Maybe
It
Natalie should have had more conversations with them beforehand.
yeah, but I don't think the writing was on the wall for her
And you know
ultimately.
what's weird? We didn't get a post-exit confessional from Natalie.
We didn't.
Usually, when you're banished, we get to hear from you.
Yeah. That's
So I don't.
interesting.
I was like, why? Why'd you do that? She was
Is
at the
there something
reunion,
that's going to
right?
happen? Yeah. She was at the
I don't know why they
reunion. She
did
was
that to
on the
her.
Traitors podcast. I wonder why.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Um, but Rob and Mark talk in the billiards room. Mark is laying on the pool table looking distraught and dismayed.
Hmm.
And he's like, "Is it Tara?" Rob comes in and says, "Is it Tara?" And Mark's like, "No, those tears were real, dude. That's one thing I know for sure. Like, she was really upset." Um, and Rob's like, and then Mark is like, "But only if she was like some kind of Oscar winner." And Rob's like, "Yeah, maybe." And Mark's like, "No, no,
She's
she's
a
not.
figure skater.
She's a figure skater. When does she have
Not
time to?
everyone's a sociopath like you, Rob.
Who can just lie so well?"
Mm.
Um, but Mark doesn't buy it, and then he's like, "Eric said almost nothing tonight." Which is crazy. I'm like, Eric, you're getting worse. Kristen trying to give you a warning, bro. At least listen. Like, you need
Nope.
to say stuff. In his confessional, Mark says maybe Kristen was right. about Eric. And I was like, I don't care if it's Eric or Rob at this point. Let's just try.
Let's try anything.
Please.
Oh.
Johnny, Maura, and Tara talk. And Johnny is like, if I die, avenge me. And they're like, with who?
What,
Because they're all in,
what do you think this is? There's not many of us.
and this one, they're all just like, I know it's not me. And they're
Oh.
like, with Eric, get Eric out. He has slipped by. There's been very little attention on him. Like it's Eric, is what
Mm.
Johnny says. So Robin and Eric go to the turret, and they're like, man, today was a tough day. Eric and Rob's like, Eric, you can't just not talk. Like, what's wrong with you? Like, you need to try. I'm trying to make it to the end with you, bro. Um, and then they start discussing their options, but then Alan comes in. And
Mm.
Alan says, tonight you're going to, well, tonight everybody's going to go outside and it will be revealed who was murdered. So you better act surprised. And I was like,
Oh.
okay, this is kind of fun.
Yeah.
Um, so Rob in his confessional says, this is, oh,
The
he starts
part
saying some,
where I say I don't wanna.
I actually literally wrote this is, and he has a big heart and blah, blah, blah. He's trying to tell us, he's trying to convince us that he is a good guy. He's like,
Mm.
this is so hard. Getting Natalie out tonight was so difficult. Getting Natalie out of the castle tonight was a very difficult choice. It tugged on my heartstrings, and I feel so distraught because my mama taught me manners. I was like,
We
you're full of
started a
shit.
coup against Natalie. Oh,
It's a scheme that Todd set up.
by golly, Miss Dolly. We got to get Tara Lipinski out next. She's an actress. I've seen her on the film.
That man knows his music.
He knows pitch.
They go through their options. Johnny or Tara would be good because you could split up the duo because they're going to vote together.
Mhm.
Mark speaks a lot, and he did mention Eric, and no one would banish him, so Mark wouldn't be bad to get out too. Um, who did you think they were going to do?
I actually thought Mark.
Me too.
Because it was just like he's on to Eric and the other people, like, they're not as strong in their convictions.
Yeah, they're slowly getting people who are strategic, critical thinkers, like, or
Mhm.
who have sus on them at all.
Yeah.
Right? They're being really good about that. So we see all of the, I was going to say all the Islanders. We see
All
all
the
of
Islanders come.
they all exit the castle and they go outside and there's a coffin. And they're like, oh my gosh. And Maura's like, I think it's me. I think it's me. And Tara's like, it's going to be me. And I'm
Why
like,
would it be either
why?
of you?
And and then, Alan is like, the traitors have picked their final victim, and whoever it is will come into this a coffin to be brutally murdered in front of all of you. And Maura and Tara keep going, oh, it's me, it's me, it's me. They say it like 100 times. And that's where the episode ends.
Uh, so then in episode 11, the finale, we pick back up and the murder is being continued. And we find out that the faithful murdered was Mark.
I had a feeling it was going to be him.
Yeah. He walks to the coffin. He says, see ya in hell. I'm like, cool. Bye, Mark.
No, Rob is like, bye, bro, or something.
He's like,
And I was
love you, man. And Eric's
and
like, I'll miss you.
Eric says something to him like, y'all don't think that's weird?
Nope. I think it's not. Mark says it sucks because he would put his money on Eric being a traitor. Well, that's one of them.
Interesting. Yeah.
Maura, I just don't understand how the hell I'm still in this game. Girl, please.
Like she doesn't think past like anything. Like she's like, Mark is getting murdered and he's walking to the coffin and she's just relieved it's not her. Like
Yeah.
she's not thinking, why would they take out Mark? Right? She's like, oh, thank God it wasn't me. I think
She's
I'm
not
gonna
a
win this
critical
thing.
thinker. I'm just like, please, I beg of you, have a thought with some dimension. But it's the next day and it's breakfast and everyone enters one by one. First, Eric comes and he says how being a traitor goes against every natural fiber in his body, and he always tries to put others first. Maura
I kind of
says,
believe that.
I do too. He seems like a sweet guy. Maura's just happy to be here. And she says it takes her a long time to trust people, and the majority of guys she's dated has cheated. She thinks Tara is a faithful, but her gut is telling her Rob isn't a traitor. But sometimes she has doubt. And I'm like, do you?
Mm.
Rob comes and he tells Maura he feels like he's known her for years. And I'm like, you're diabolical.
Lay it on thick, man. You didn't need to say
Right.
any of this.
I feel like I knew you in a past life.
Yeah.
Like, oh. He says this game is harder than ever now because he's close to the people in this game. And he just wants Johnny and Tara out next.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, it's a good plan. Johnny wants to be at the end game with Tara. Tara has struggled with her heart versus her mind, and she believes in the faithfuls. They just have to be smart. Too late! Rob says he thought him or Mark would be murdered because they're so trusted in the group. I would say people wake up, but like no one's available to wake up that would matter.
Christy, wake up.
Alan arrives. He says that from now on at the round table, no one's identity will be revealed. And this final mission will let them end with a splash. Johnny's still shook over Natalie being a faithful. He says they should have banished Rob. And he thinks it's Rob and Eric. And I'm like, you're spot on. It's too late.
Too late.
But at least you know. I mean, of all the options, like, do you think fucking Maura is a traitor?
Well, I'm glad that at least now with only 5 people, right? It's 5 of them.
Yeah. At
With
least
only
now.
5, at least now he can really say.
I
Yeah,
know
it's
for
those
sure.
two. It's those two.
After breakfast, Johnny and Tara discuss it being Rob and Eric, and they say they need to pull Maura away. Rob and Eric tell Maura it's Johnny and Tara, and Maura thinks it may just be one of them. And like, because she's leaning more towards Johnny being a traitor and doesn't really think Tara is. Rob wants Johnny out first because he can talk himself out of things better than Tara. It's so funny, like how Maura is like the idiot in the middle that has to decide which way to go.
Yeah.
And there's like a team of traitors and then a duo of faithfuls. And she's like, I think I don't know what to do. It's like, well, there's an obvious choice.
Yeah. Like you think Tara and Johnny?
Tara pulls Maura for a chat. They talk about Eric being a traitor because he never talks about his suspicions. And Tara says she feels so calm today and believes it's Eric. Maura does tell her it makes sense to go against Eric with Johnny.
Mm-hmm.
So she seems to be down, and Eric's kind of worried that they're trying to flip Maura. We get to the last mission. A helicopter arrives. This mission was so boring, y'all. Like, I always hate the last missions. Honestly, I hate all the missions, but especially the last one. Maura really wants to get on, and so does Rob. So they get on. But Alan gives them a box. This is also so complicated for no reason. Like, why are there so many different elements? They get on the helicopter, and it's like cool sights. It's cool to see. But Rob didn't want Maura with Tara and Johnny so that they would like put thoughts in her head.
Mm-hmm.
Tara questions Eric on the way with Johnny to the mission because they're just in the car. She questions him about Rob and Maura. He says he's had suspicions of them and doesn't know anything about Maura. So he's kind of feeding into it, but not giving too much.
Yeah.
Maura tells Rob that Tara wants to go after Eric, and she agrees. Rob is annoyed because he doesn't want Tara and Johnny to have the upper hand, which he shouldn't. Because ultimately, if Tara and Johnny make it, they can just tie that shit up to get Rob out. And who knows what happens after a tie.
Right.
They have to. So the mission is they race. Who is it? Tara, Johnny, and Eric are in a boat. And they have to race to these pontoons with chests where they can win gold. Each one has a question. And the answers are in the box that Rob and Maura have in the helicopter. So they have to communicate through the walkie-talkies. And then when they decide on an answer for a certain amount of money, they'll drop the answer with a buoy attached to the water. And then they have to get with the boat to that. And then they put the card in the box. And if it's the right answer, then they win the money.
Shit.
Like, well, damn.
Damn.
This is so aggravating. But they can win up to $20,000, but not really because there's going to be an extra 20 at some point. But we'll get to that. Um, the first question: which player was the last to have a coffin put in their grave in the first mission? They answer Mark. They get $500. It's correct. The second one: who was sat opposite the murdered player at the black banquet? Tara's like, oh, I know that's Colton. And Rob is like, I think it's Natalie. Like, if we don't get this right, I'm going to go fucking ape shit. I'm like, well, it turns out you're fucking wrong, Rob, because it was Colton, and they get $9,000. Which player started and ended at a shield throne on the second mission? It was Caroline. They get it right for 3,000. And then which housewife has received the most overall votes? It was Lisa. And then this is where Alan's like, there's like 5 minutes and 20 seconds left. And he's like, it isn't over yet. There's a chance to double the money. The final chest holds $20,000. The card needed to open won't be in the box that Rob and Maura have. It's going to be in a different box tethered to an orange buoy. But here's the thing. Someone from that helicopter has to jump out of it and get it, bring it to the land, and then put the card on the box to unbox the $20,000. Rob decides he'll jump. And he does it. And I'm like, there's no way he did this in 5 minutes.
Right.
But we know that the Traitors is sketchy with the timing of the missions.
Definitely.
But they end up getting the card on the box. They get the extra 20K. So now the total prize pot for the whole show is $220,000, 800 or $220,800. Not bad.
That's a lot of money.
I would say, especially if you're just winning it and it's just for like a week or so, not too bad.
It's a lot of money.
Probably not great with taxes and everything, but still something.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Very shortly will be the final roundtable. After the mission, Johnny wants no regrets at this roundtable. Should have had that last roundtable, but okay.
Mm-hmm.
Maura says her gut is telling her Eric and Johnny or Tara, but I think she's leaning more towards Johnny. And Rob says he's voting for Johnny. Johnny and Tara are determined not to waver on voting Eric out. Johnny's worried about Maura, but Tara isn't. Tara says in her career, she always peaked when it mattered. Now, that's cute, but it mattered last week.
Yeah.
Not this week.
Now.
It's too late.
Too late.
Tara pulls Maura again. The overall theme of this episode, too late.
Too late.
She's pushing for Eric. Maura says it's hard to like look Eric in the eye, but she's kind of seems like she's on the page of getting Eric out. And Maura's like, we're not stupid if we got this far. On the contrary, you got this far because you are stupid.
Flip it around.
That's the thing with these games like Big Brother and Traitors. You often are kept longer in the game because you're not able to figure it out. So. But she wouldn't know.
No.
But she does say she's always had Tara's back. Maura then reassures Eric, though, and it's just like, I'm not going to vote for you, I promise. And Rob's like, she sounds a lot like when she would tell me she wants to go to the end with me. So I think I'm a little scared, but I don't know. But then we get to the final roundtable.
We do. Before the roundtable, as they're walking in, we hear Rob say that he wants to protect Eric, which made me think like, oh, it would have been so nice to protect other traitors too. And Maura says she's torn because Tara and Johnny are gonna vote for Eric, and so she's not sure who she should vote for. Alan comes in, he gets his spiel and reminds us that the banished person will not be revealed. So Eric says, he starts and he says he's up against a Love Island duo, an Olympic and an Olympic duo. And he's tried to listen and share his opinions. He is a faithful and he's leaning towards Tara or Johnny. And I'm like, you literally didn't even give us a definitive name. Like, you suck. I
This
am.
reminded me of that season of Big Brother. Remember the one with Mickey
Yeah.
when he
Uh,
won? And there was like the duos in the final six. It was
it
like him and
was.
Holly,
Oh, and
Tommy
then
and Christy, and then Nicole and
Cliff
Cliff.
Hogg. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All these duos.
And then remember when Nicole was like, "Am I going to the end of the fucking show, man?"
It's
I'm
like,
like,
yeah,
yes,
bitch,
you
because
are.
you got rid of Tommy instead of Holly.
So dumb.
Anyways.
Uh, um, Rob says that it's odd that you hid your friendship to Tara and Johnny until now. And Johnny's like, yeah, we just didn't want to be targeted. And Maura's like, that makes sense.
I'm like, oh, okay, Maura, wake it up. Okay.
We never know what Maura's gonna
We don't.
say.
She says like so many different things. I'm like, but wait.
We don't know what. Maura's like, that's so
It's
logical.
like I get it because they would have been questioning you all game. And Johnny's like, precisely.
Exactly. I'm like, you're not helping Rob out, who's trying.
You know what's funny
Anyway,
though? Thinking
yeah.
back to the first episode, we need to think about this next season of Traitors.
Uh-huh.
They low-key planted these seeds.
They did. Because
Like
we
with
we talked a lot about this duo and if it would matter.
yeah, that and then also like we saw Maura and Rob kind of get
Hug.
together and all that. And just like, oh, you'll have my back, right? And Rob's like, we'll see.
Yeah.
Mm.
Um, Johnny says he thinks that there are two traitors left, and he knows for 100% it's not Tara. And for their group, the one that they're looking at right now, that the other three of you, it's got to be two of you. It's not Maura. Maura, I've gotten to know you. And Maura's smiling. Maura, we've gotten to know
With
you.
her
We
wig
trust
and
you. We
cap.
like you. Yeah, she's eating it up. She's like, "Ooh, compliment time. Thank you so much."
I
And
think I like what I'm hearing.
I was like, "Okay, so she's with them." She's not. And so they know it's not Maura. And so Johnny is thinking it's Eric and Rob that are traitors. Mhm. Um, Johnny says, Eric, your game has been very opaque and you're too quiet. And Tara's like, you don't give names, but you jump on names once they're given. And Eric is like, look, I'm not a passionate person. I'm not the person to just jump out and share ideas, but I do confide in certain people. I've confided in Mark and Rob, Kristen. And look, I would not be a good trader. I'd fall apart as a trader. I can't lie to people's faces as he
As
lies
he's
to
doing it, I'm
people.
like, ooh.
Okay, I was like, that. He had a good poker face. I was like,
He did. I was like, okay, you're actually decent at lying. That's concerning.
mm-hmm. Tara's like, well, in the car, I pressed you for a name of who you thought it was, and you said Maura. And Maura's like, really? And Eric's like, yes, I had a moment that I thought of all of you. And Rob is like, look, I'm going on my instinct. And it just is so interesting. Wouldn't it be interesting if Alan picked the two of you, knowing that you were best friends, to pick you both as traitors? And then you had to lie. Or he picked one of you as traitors and you had to lie to your friend. He's like, I love you guys, but I'm going with my gut. And I trust Maura and I trust Eric. So it's time to vote. Johnny and Tara vote for Eric. Rob, Maura, and Eric vote for Johnny. Johnny gets banished. He
For a
just has to get
second,
up
I
and
was like,
leave.
Maura, are you gonna vote Eric? Like that would be so great. And
That'd be so
like,
great. Remember when he was complimenting you and you said you were like, oh, you're happy about it.
yeah. I don't even know if that would mean Rob wouldn't win, but I'm like, there would at least be a tie. It would be interesting.
It would be interesting, right? We would see that the faithful had a fucking chance. But at this point, it's like you guys want to lose, I guess. So here we
Yeah.
are. Um, Johnny leaves and he just wants to say bye to Tara. He gives her a hug. In his confessional, which is also why I'm like, yeah, we didn't see Natalie doing.
Mm.
In his confessional, he says, Eric and Rob are traitors. I hope Maura opens up her eyes and goes with Tara to get them out. I'm like, okay, well, Here's hoping.
That
The
ain't gonna happen.
the fire, excuse me, the fire of truth is going to be very soon. Tara says that she is scared without Johnny, but she's unlocking the Olympian inside of her that was born when she was 15, and she is going to do her best to convince Maura to vote with her.
All right.
Hurrah!
How'd that go last time?
Right after this is said, Maura goes up to Rob and tells him that she trusts him 100%.
We should win together.
And he's like, yeah. And he's like, we gotta stay locked in. We gotta get Tara out. And they're like, they're like, we're gonna
And then we'll
win. It's
do
gonna be great.
Eric, right? And he's like, pinky promise.
And
Mm.
they pinky promise. And they're like, we're gonna win this game. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be great. He picks her up and spins her around and hugs her.
Hmm.
It's nauseating. In his confessional again, blah blah blah. Rob feels bad, blah blah blah. I just need a few more pieces to fall into place to win. So much for feeling bad. I need to get Tara out, and then we're all good to go. Eric and Maura chat, and Tara comes in while they're talking. And Tara's like, look, guys, it's not me, okay? Like, it's really not me. And they're just like looking at her, and the music changes to like a somber tone. She's like, I'm a faithful. Somebody else is a traitor. And Eric leaves with Rob during this, so they just completely also ignore. They tend to ignore Tara whenever she speaks to the group
Yeah.
at large. Rob and Eric talk, and they say Maura is sus of Eric, but they feel good. And Rob says that they've got it. They've just got to banish Tara, and they'll be all good to go. So the traitors are locked in. They're fine. Tara tells Maura she thinks it's Eric and Rob, and Maura's just like, I don't see it. Am I being stupid?
Yes.
And Tara says she thinks that Rob is protecting her. And Maura is like, I trusted Rob. I met him outside of this game. It's making me shake. Like, it's making me nervous. What if I'm being fooled? It's so
What?
interesting the things that people say. Like, you thought all this and you I don't want to spoil it, but
Is
you
she
thought a
just
lot of things.
she thought it.
She
That's
thought
it.
it. That's it. It was a thought.
Mm.
Then we get interviews with everybody's dressed up for the fire thing, the fire
Yeah.
ceremony, and they all get interviews with Alan, which today I didn't want to see, but I remember last seeing Gabby's,
Oh
and I was like,
yes.
okay, let's keep this tradition alive. I just don't
Mm.
care for it right now.
No,
Eric
same.
says he's glad for allies and he hopes a good guy can win. And I was like, are you a good guy? Because that's
I
Rob.
liked his suit.
It was nice. I was like, who's that man on the back? Is that you?
Ugh.
Tara says she wants to win, but not for the money, but just to be right for once.
I liked her dress. It was
I don't
cute.
remember it.
It was like metallic.
Rob says a bunch of stuff, but the
Overall.
bottom line, the bottom line is like, he's like, it's either all worth it, all the lying, or it's not. I want this for my current and future family. I want to have kids one day, and I hope Tara hasn't convinced Maura. Maura says she's nervous about trusting Rob. She's been lied to and cheated on, and it's hard to trust people. But she's not giving up, and she wants to make her mom proud. These series of interviews were so fucking sad.
They were. Maura looked so good though.
She did. I didn't like her hat though. Her hat was a little distracting.
It was a bold choice.
What did it look like? It kind of looked like a piece of like a plastic lid that just had a little button on it.
It did. She has to cover the fact that she's wearing a wig.
It's time for the fire of truth. It's a Brandon said what the prize pot was earlier. Um, if you're faithful, the game will end and you split the prize. But if there are traitors, they get all the money.
Hmm.
There are two pouches. One says end the game and one says banish the game. So you choose. They go in rounds and you choose which packet you want to throw. And if the game ends when they all agree to do so, or when there's two people left.
Mhm.
So round one, they all put their pouches in the bag. Everybody decides to banish. Tara's the last to say so, and when she says that she's decided to banish, she says she believes it's Eric. Eric says he's been faithful from the beginning, and then they vote. Eric votes for Tara, Tara votes for Eric, Rob votes for Tara, and Maura had a
Mm.
little slither of hope. I was like, you wanted Eric out anyway, but what if you just voted for Eric? But then I was like, it'd be a tie. So I don't know how that would go anyway. It doesn't matter
Yeah.
because Maura votes for Tara.
Um,
And Tara is banished.
so the Traitors won,
Yes.
but there's more.
There's more. Tara says she's devastated. She thought Mara heard her, and I was like, "How? You've been talking to Mara for days, bitch. You've been talking to Mara so much. You really thought Mara was gonna listen to you now?
She hasn't believed
Now?
one thing you said.
Literally, Mara never listens to you.
Mm.
Natalie listened to you. We were rooting for you.
We were all rooting for you. How dare you? When my mother yells at this, it's because she loves me. And you think with your metallic dress and you think you know something. You don't know that girl with the wig and a hat. You don't know her. She has her tinking cap on and she's not tinking. She's not tinking.
Oh my God, I'm dead. Ugh. Man, these guys got me all kind of worked up and stressed the fuck out.
It's just so frustrating.
It really is. Round two. They do the pouches again. Eric wanted to end the game, but Maura and Rob choose to banish.
Mm.
And Eric was like, wait.
He was upset about Rob.
Yeah. Eric looks really surprised when he sees Rob throw his.
Mm-hmm.
And Rob says, "Look, man, I made a pinky promise that I want to keep." And Eric looks so upset. And he's like, "I really trusted you guys. Like, it really hurts right now." And Mara's like, "Well, if I'm wrong," Mara, like, heads in the cloud. She's like, "Well, if I'm wrong, I'm sorry." And it's like, Mara, why do you think he'd be so upset? Like, just so upset. Like, any other reasons why he might be so. I guess this one's a stretch, but still, Mara's just like, "No, I mean, if we're wrong."
My bad.
Whoops.
Uh,
And while Maura's saying sorry, Rob's like, "Yeah, sorry." Sorry, bro. And Eric's like, you are wrong. And Maura, you should wonder why you never questioned the other player in this game.
Hmm?
And Rob just looks at Maura and just shakes his head. Don't listen. And Maura in her confessional says, something's not right. She's like, it has to be Eric, right?
Something
like,
wicked this way comes. And I think it's wearing denim.
At this point, I don't even give a fuck anymore.
No.
They vote. Eric votes for Rob. Rob votes for Eric. Maura votes for Eric. And Eric says, wow. And I'm like, fuck you, Eric. I am so glad you get this moment for yourself. You saw Rob banish other traitors. You saw him. You were there. And you really thought you could just trust this man blindly? I am so glad. This is so good for you. You are getting your humble pie. Eat it as you should.
Just a flash forward to the reunion. His reasoning was he didn't have the contacts. And even Rob was like, yes, you did. I
Yes, you
pushed for the
did.
other traitors. And he's like, but you told me that they were awful to you and I thought they were mean to you. And Rob was like, I said that. I was saying anything.
It's like, Eric, you like even if they were, I mean, that's just even a weird thing to say. You thought Rob was bullied by this grown man was bullied by two other women so much that he had to get them out. Like that doesn't even logically make sense. I was like,
No.
you went home and thought about the game, came to the reunion and said, I thought they were mean to him. All of you suck.
I hate all of you.
You suck. And Eric's just like, wow, if I'd done that, I wouldn't be able to live with myself. Relationships are more important than money to me. And Eric leaves. So it's Maura and Rob. And at first, Maura looks at Rob just like kind of skeptical, and I was like, is she doubting him? And so Alan comes back and he's like, all right, it's you two, and it's time to reveal. Maura, you go first. And Maura goes, I'm sorry. And Rob's like, and she's like,
Your mic cut off when you said
she's
that.
just like, joke. I was just joking with you, Rob. I think it's a funny joke. And she is laughing and giggling up a storm. And Rob goes, Maura. She's like, yeah, yes, that's me. That's my name. I am, and I have always been a traitor.
You're joking.
No, I'm not. I'm not joking. I'm serious.
What? I'm so
Yeah.
stupid.
No. You're not stupid. You're not stupid.
No, I'm
You're not stupid.
dumb.
No, you're not
You've
dumb.
embarrassed me.
I'm sorry for embarrassing you.
Oh
That's
my
basically
god.
how the conversation goes. But for a hot second, she just looked dumbfounded.
She
And I was like,
did.
Maura, cry. Maura, please cry. Make him feel bad. Maura, make him feel bad. Cry, Maura, cry. And she just was so shocked. And
Mm-hmm.
he is just like, well, you made it to the final. And she's like,
Don't
don't
speak.
talk.
Shut
Don't
up.
speak. Shut the fuck up.
I can't believe him.
And she's just like, I was so fooled by you. You are an absolute asshole. You pinky promised me. I was so convinced. You've embarrassed me. Um, and we see her we see her confessional, and she's just like, oh dear God. But now she's laughing.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, I'm a fool. And this is why I don't trust anybody ever, because they will stab you in the back. And we go back to the actual event, and she's just like, well, fair enough. You know you're never gonna get a girlfriend now, right? After this, like, you're such a good liar.
Period.
And she's just like, well, it was well played, though. I have to give it to you. You know, if I was you, I'd have done the same thing. And he's like, exactly. And I'm like, we let this man out so easy. Like, he just gets off so easy. It's just annoying. Like, I get it. It's a game. It's traitors. But because I've seen him in a context where he wasn't a traitor and he acted like an asshole, seeing him
That's
just
the thing.
thrive being an asshole and win money being an asshole, like, it just is a little bittersweet for me as a salty viewer.
I agree.
Um, but she said, you know, fair game, whatever, and she leaves. And it's Rob and Alan, and Alan's like, Rob, you did it. And Rob's
We
like,
did
yeah, I
it.
feel we did it. We did it, Joe.
But he didn't even have an ounce of that charisma. This was such a bland. It reminded me of his Love Island package. I'm back. I
Yeah,
won.
I won
That's great.
before.
We did it.
There's a snake in my boot.
Mm.
Um, yeah, because Alan, he says, like, I feel really bad. And Alan's like, the game is traitors. She's like, yep, I don't feel bad anymore. They go outside. Rob's like, whoa, he's screaming to the mountains. And then he, just says, like, and Alan says, like, I think you are the best traitor yet, which I agree. I think he was even better than Suri. But, well, maybe equal. Because,
I haven't watched the full first season, but I did see someone point out that Suri never had a vote cast against her.
she didn't.
But then I had some people said, because Puya and Rob were talking about it on their podcast, and they're like, there's factors you could argue both, and like because Suri had more like of like the civilians in it, and it was the first season, but Rob also kind of got away with not doing much for the first half of the game.
Yeah, no, because he was just working with his people. So yeah. And I mean, even though she played with civilians, that would be more of a reason for them to know her.
Yeah,
Whereas I feel like these people didn't know Rob at all, and for some reason didn't watch the show at all. And it
yeah,
was the first season. So I actually think like she had more odds stacked against her.
I agree.
Um,
And there we said
and
it. Suri's the best.
she's the best, and she didn't have to be a bitch doing it. Like she didn't, you
Period.
were like literally an asshole this whole time. So we didn't need to do that. Some people were salty at her at the end because she did have to lie and stuff. But I just feel like the way Rob went about it was more malicious in
Yeah.
the sense of the game of like being cutthroat. But he won, and he did say, like, I'm not gonna give $100,000 to a guy I met last week.
I mean, I get
Sucks to
it.
suck, Eric.
Bye, Eric.
Bye, Eric. And then we had the reunion.
Yes. So I just took some bullet points. The reunion, it was fine. It was, I think, the best of the reunions we've had. I think season one was pretty good, but it was good. It had some moments. They do this thing though where they'll have like jokey moments, like Love Highland, and it's like edited to be like people falling in love or like horny in the castle, and then like something about murder that I forget. Um,
Yeah, it's
but
always something.
essentially, I loved most of the looks though. Like I loved Lisa's
Oh,
dress.
I'm gonna pull up the
I
ones you
loved
did. I didn't
Maura's.
like Lisa's dress.
I
Ah.
loved it. The pink with the black. I was like, this is so nice.
I didn't like the swoopy part.
I thought it was
Hold on, let
fun,
me look at it.
but I get it. Madison said something about it
Oh,
too.
it was the group chat. Hold on, I gotta find it.
I
Madison.
Mora's was really good. I loved Dorinda's. I hated
For
Candace's.
yeah, Candace. And then up close, her hair. I was
Terrible.
like, that's like a little swoop dupe that they do for the Lollipop Guild boys
We
on their form.
represent the Lollipop Guild, the Lollipop Guild, the Lollipop Guild.
I was like, Rob, your suit could fit. You just won a lot of money. Your sneakers are nice, I guess, but I don't like it. Eric just kind of looks like a man wearing a suit. Yeah, I didn't love Candace. Let me find Lisa. This is Dorinda. I did not know who Caroline was.
Caroline's was chic. I liked Caroline's, the gray like two piece.
Wait, you sent me a picture of Lisa's outfit. Why don't I see it on here?
Kristen's I
Anyway,
didn't like in the picture, but when I saw it in person, I liked it.
yeah, I was like, Kristen. Kristen looks good.
Oh.
But I didn't love all the chains in the photo.
Mm. And then
But
Colton
yeah.
and Rob were like wearing the same suit. It was just Tiffany's. You couldn't really tell with the middle part, and her hair and makeup looked really good. 'Cause
Did you like Maura's?
I did.
Yeah, Maura does look nice. Yeah, I don't like the way the black comes up on Lisa's dress and then it's got that like frilly thing that threw
Mm,
me off a little bit.
mm.
And I didn't love the picture of Tiffany's.
Yeah, Tiffany's picture wasn't great because the middle thing, it was like, is it a bodysuit or a biker short? Like, what is it? But when she
Yeah.
sat down, you couldn't tell. So I was like, okay. But I like the
Yeah.
flowers. Um,
For
Rob
context, I'm
C
not even
looked
gonna.
nice.
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna pretend. I didn't watch this whole reunion, y'all. I only watched like the first 10 minutes.
You didn't miss much. And then also, like, you can go back and watch if you want. And if not,
Yeah.
eh. But essentially, the highlights, Candace and Lisa were thinking that Rob maybe helped Colton identify them as traitors,
Yeah.
which Rob denies. Candace really like, I'll say this, like Candace was like wanting to cuss Rob out. She didn't really like, she came for him, but if you know
No.
Candace, it wasn't as serious as she can be, and she was smiling through some of it. So it's like,
Yeah.
it's for the
Because
show.
Andy was bringing up that like, did you need to turn on them the way you did? You
Hmm.
know, and that's where she was really like trying to push her point.
Hmm. And it was just like, I don't know. And then, but Candace does want Rob to admit that he always wanted to win by himself. And I'm like, I think you're arguing the wrong point because it's kind of like a dumb point, anyways. Like, who cares? And it's like, I would more argue, like, clearly I needed to turn on you and maybe I went about it the wrong way. But you say you want to go to the end with me, but you also said that about Eric and then you turned on him last minute. So obviously you were going to turn on me last minute. You just met
Yeah.
me 3 weeks ago. Why would you share that money with me?
Right, right.
But instead, she was just pushing. She was just like, you always knew and all this. And then they were talking about how I think maybe when it was Maura who came out, she was like, I was fooled by Rob. And Donna Kelsey was just like, everyone was. And Candace goes, not Candace. And then Donna's like, okay. And I'm like, Candace, I love you, but just take the L. You know, it's
Yeah,
fine.
at that point, it's like, well, you knew he was a traitor, so
Yeah.
and he did fool you.
Yeah. And
He
Rob,
helped
even
get
at
you out.
one point, because Candace is just like, I had to turn on you to preserve myself. And Rob was like, you didn't preserve yourself, you ended yourself. And
Hmm.
Candace, like, no, I went after you because I knew I had to and I wanted to get your name out there. And it's like, yes, but
And
in
in the
doing so,
process, yeah, you fucked
uh,
yourself.
Maura keeps saying she's like dumb and everything, but she's kind of being. I will say I appreciate Maura's kind of attitude. She's like, it is just a game. Like she's shocked,
Yeah.
she feels stupid, but she's not taking it too seriously.
Yeah, that is one thing she kept consistently is that she knew it was a game. It's just
Yeah.
like when Tara was crying, she's like, "But we're playing a game."
Why are you so sad?
Right? Like she at the
Um,
round table, she'd be like, "It's Candace," and then when Candace got out, she's like, "Candace is so good."
she's like, damn, we really didn't know.
I'm so crazy.
uh, so Candace said that Colton said something to
Yeah.
her and all that, and that she'll reveal it when Colton's out there.
Hmm.
And it was something like I was confused if she said that Colton told her that Rob said that her and Lisa were traitors, or if Colton told her that Rob said he was a traitor. Because regardless, I mean, if he said he was a traitor, that's against the rules. And that's what Rob kind of says. He's like, that's against the rules. Like, there's cameras. Why would I do that? Like,
Yeah.
also just like, and I think Candace's point is nonverbal cues. And I'm like, honestly, I really don't think that. And even Colton's just like, I thought he was a faithful. Like, he said something about you, but it was after I said Lisa, I think. I don't know. It was kind of stupid. And
Yeah.
like, I guess I understand addressing it, like putting it on the table. Like, Candace is even in comments now saying that Rob cheated. And I'm like, Candace,
Oh God.
this is when
Let
it's
it
like, okay,
go.
Candace, like
Let
now we're
it
like
go.
dragging it. Like, just take the
Yeah.
L. It's fine. You weren't bad. You just were a step behind him, so you ended up out. Like, it is what it
Hmm.
is.
Hmm.
Um, so they start questioning Colton, and then this Lisa brings up, she's like, Colton, I have a question for you. What did you mean when you said you wanted to take me hostage? And
Oh, they did make a thing of this.
And he's like, well, I meant it in the game because it's just like, I could like have you on my side and then maybe get you to turn against a traitor and then you could recruit me. Because they also bring up him saying, like, oh, I'll keep you safe at the round table if you keep me safe at the turret. Andy did ask her, why didn't you bring that up at the round table? And she's like, I would have fucked it up. So like I just didn't. And it's like self-awareness.
She was, she was like, I couldn't remember the verbiage. I was already
It
nervous.
was like too much.
Lisa had no poker face,
Oh,
so
none. And then Lisa and Candace say, okay, that makes sense. I think just the word hostage was interesting. And then Colton's like, wait a minute. It was in the context of the game. You said you wanted to slit my fucking throat in the turret. Like, isn't that like severe language? Like, I
Mhm.
don't think you have the right to like question me in this and do that. And Lisa's like, I actually can do whatever the fuck I want. And I'm like, period. And one thing I will say, yeah, Colton, it is different because Lisa's never slit someone's throat and she was a traitor. You stalk someone.
Mm,
So when you're on TV
hmm.
saying you want to take someone hostage,
Hmm.
it's a little different.
That's a little different.
Can I just
I
say?
said what I said,
Well,
is
what
what
you
Lisa
said was
said.
some bullshit, but it shut Colton up. And then
Hmm.
Andy kind of soft addresses Colton's past with him. He's just like, it's just like, it was a tough time with me and I didn't think it'd get brought up in the game or like whatever. And Andy's like, thank you for saying that. It was so stupid.
And it didn't
And,
get brought up in the game.
right.
It got brought up now.
Yeah. It was I have to shout out Paige DeSorbo. She made
Yeah.
me audibly cackle in the latest episode of Giggly Squad. So Hannah watches Traitors. Paige doesn't, but she's often popped off on the fact that Colton was on the cast after his past.
Yeah.
And Hannah was bringing up how the internet makes fun of Natalie for her fashion and how she like is just like picking stuff like she's from Survivor, like she's trying, like the internet's being
Hmm.
mean.
Oh,
And
are they?
a little, I don't think in a serious way, but I mean, I've said it about Natalie's fashion. It's horrendous. But I like
Really?
Natalie.
What was she? Well, can you give me an example of something? I don't
The
know. I don't remember.
bodysuit.
Which one?
The silver and black.
Okay, I'll take your word for it.
There was like a cheetah print crop top and like a dusty black jean.
She, sheesh. Okay, okay.
So, but Natalie's beautiful, so it's fine. She can dress however
She
she wants.
is. Every time I look at her
Um,
arms, I'm like, you're so toned. Drop your workout routine, Natalie.
I know. I need
How?
it too. And she
I
looked
need
great. I
it.
loved her at the reunion. She looked great at the reunion.
Mhm.
But Paige was just like, why is the internet worried about that? There's a literal fucking kidnapper on the show. Check the trunk of his fucking car. She's like, he's
Um,
gonna murder someone, and we're worried about what Natalie's wearing.
right. What was Hannah saying about Natalie's outfits? Was she also agreeing that they were awful?
No, because she was just like, they look nice. Like she doesn't
Yeah.
like she didn't say whether she liked it or not really, but she was just like
Okay.
defending like her wearing stuff.
That's funny.
So it was good, but it was a funny moment. And then Mark tries to make excuses about like them not going after Rob. He's like, well, Candace had said Johnny should get a shield. So we thought they were working together. And Natalie's like, no, Candace left us like two breadcrumbs and we weren't savvy enough to pick it up.
Period.
Period. I'm like, own it. Yes.
I was like, we saw this stupid thing about Johnny. Like, we heard you talk about it on the show, Mark. It's not a good reason.
Yeah. We had a kind of funny moment with Portia and Lisa where Portia's like, you went against the housewives. So I took the Lisa Rinna lipsticks and I smashed them all. And she brings out like a Ziploc bag with all the lipsticks smashed. And Candace is like, Portia. And Rinna's just like, it went out of business anyways. It's fine.
And you still gave her money in the process. You had to buy them.
Right.
That's
Portia
funny.
and Candace kind of have a back and forth about the whole like that beginning part where Candace told her that Michael said he was going after the housewives, and then Portia asked her in front of everyone, and then Candace was like, I don't know what
Oh,
you're talking about.
yeah.
I'll be honest, Portia talked a little too much for me.
For someone who got out, what, second?
First.
First?
Banished
Oh, she
first,
got
at least.
banished
Ian
first.
was
She had a
murdered
lot to
before her.
say.
Yeah, I was just like, you look beautiful, but I don't want to hear from you. Love you, but she does get into it with Michael though, and I was team her on that. Michael was on one. He was like trying to defend what because Portia was just like, you voted for me out, but you pretended like you were like a housewives like fan and all this, and like you're full of
Yeah.
shit. And then Michael was like, clip, you don't speak when I'm talking, clip, which is a callback to on Real Housewives of New York. Dorinda during an argument was just like clip. And it was funny when Dorinda did it in the context. It's not funny when Michael Rappaport does it.
Oh gosh, Michael.
He tries to do it again to Johnny as well because Johnny and Tara video in because they're in Milan for the Olympics. And
Mm.
he's like, I'm why they were talking about the Colton thing and like their dilemma. And he's like, I FaceTimed Colton after and we made up. And like, I shouldn't have been voted out because Johnny said something, this silver medalist, Olympic medalist. And then Johnny's like, I didn't win any medals. So, and then he started to go clip. And I'm like, what are we doing?
What are we doing? I love how Michael is trying to throw shade, and Johnny's like, I didn't win anything, actually.
I love how Johnny's like so earnest, just like we didn't win.
No, I didn't win.
There's
He's an
a
Olympian, Michael. What do you do? The fuck?
right. There's a funny moment with Rob C and Jam Jam where Rob C referred to Jam Jam as a pick me trader or a pick me gamer that would like be like, I'm not as strategic as these other gamers and all this. And it was kind of funny. They let Rob C kind of talk a little bit. I liked it. One thing I didn't like, there's two things, because that was basically it. Honestly, it ended in a conga line. And they all got in one, except Rob C stood at the side, just like, so it was kind of funny. But there was two things I wish they would have like thought back on. One being, I wish they would have somehow shown like, did Eric hear anyone laugh? And if so, who?
Oh, yeah.
Like, was it production? Like, was it something else? Because it wasn't
Candace.
Tiffany.
Yeah.
Candace said she didn't laugh, and the other traders didn't laugh. So who laughed?
So they talked about it?
They didn't talk
But
about
they,
it at all. I think just at the
um,
beginning they like said he had like magic ears or
oh,
like
okay, okay.
something. And then the other thing, we didn't get Tiffany kind of calling Colton out for like her
Mm,
banishment. She didn't really talk about her banishment. She was just asked about like how did it feel when Rob and Ian were murdered? And she's like, it sucked. It ruined my game because they were my
mm-hmm,
closest allies.
mm-hmm.
So that was disappointing. But also that's the Traitors reunion for you. It was only an hour.
So Michael and Colton made peace, or looked like they were at peace with each other.
Yeah, they had said they spoke after filming and stuff, and then they were
Okay.
cordial on the stage. I'll say Colton looked as though he didn't even want to be there,
Mm.
which we didn't want you there either.
Everybody was been eating him alive, so he's like, "This is not the social media comeback that they promised I would have, like Tom Sandoval.
Yeah, he's like, if he could be forgiven, why can't I? And it's just
Why
like,
can't I?"
it's very different. But you know what? I did want to mention just before we wrap up, Rob did a spread with GQ after his win and did an interview. And you know what? There's a bunch of questions about the win, but one of them was, do you want to know what my favorite part of reality TV is? And he says, it's when they take your phone away for a month. Um, and he just goes, at the end of the day, I have to constantly remind myself, especially lately, that I don't really care. If it ever got really bad, I would literally fall off the face of the earth and it wouldn't bother me at all. To which I say, can you please stop being full of shit for 2 seconds? What are you saying? He always has this persona of, oh, I don't really care to be here. And like, I don't really care about like the social media stuff or doing anything like that. And like all this and being in the spotlight. You have been on two of the most popular streaming shows ever these past years.
And now
You're
you're
on
on
shows,
GQ.
period. You're doing a GQ spread. Before even being on the shows, you were on TikTok doing your videos with snakes. You post shirtless with snakes, looking at the camera with your blue ass eyes, trying to fucking smize and give thirst traps. You
Yeah,
want attention.
you
You
do.
like it.
I
Just
just saw him
own
in a
it.
commercial for something, and he was in a Super Bowl commercial the year his Love Island, or the Super Bowl after his Love Island dropped. Like, you literally do shit. It was like, it's giving when Aaron was like, "Well, I don't really care about being on TV," and the guy
While
from
he's on
Barstool,
TV.
the guy from Barstool's like, "Yeah, and you're moving to California, and you were on a show before this one. Like, you care. Just say you care."
And it's fine. And that's where I did kind of like, I got Candace's sentiment of just like, just own the fact of like what you're doing. Like, don't try to play innocent. I do
Yeah,
agree with
because
that.
it'd be different if he had no social media presence and was on these shows, but it's like you literally use it for your advantage. Like,
Yeah. Which is fine, but just own it. Like, I'm so
just
sick of this
own it.
whole
Stop
like,
being weird.
I could isolate myself and be just fine. Well, you don't.
You don't.
So clearly you don't want to. But
Hmm.
anyways, that was it. Um, Closing thoughts on this season of The Traitors?
Oh man, it was a tough watch. It was really hard. It's games are not fun when you just see winners win. You want to see a challenge.
You do.
They are making this next season like that. I don't know if it's gonna be a mix, but this next one they're gonna have
Mm-hmm.
regular
Yeah.
civilians. I don't
It's
know
gonna
what the
be
word
like
is.
a season on, I guess it's just gonna be NBC, maybe Peacock streaming the next day, like they do with some shows. But
Hmm.
it'll be on NBC. It's gonna be all civilians. But they're also doing a season on Peacock again with like celebrities.
Okay.
I don't know if they'll air at the same time. I doubt they'll film at the same time. They can't because of the castle. But I'm sure they'll at least like air close together.
Yeah.
I would assume. But I don't know. But yeah.
So that should be interesting. But honestly, it was a good season. Like, we had a lot to talk about. Never seen the faithful this bad, but
Mm,
it did make the show interesting. I still like the show. And it was cool
yeah.
to see like some of my favorite people on it. I wish they lasted longer, but
I know.
uh it's like the faithful were getting their best faithfuls out and the traitors were getting the best faithfuls out.
Yeah, that's the thing with the Traders. It's like an annoying show because you have like great characters, but then they'll get out quickly because they have big personalities. So then we're left at the end with like last season, Lord Ivar. And
Yeah.
like this season before, like, I'm sorry, fucking CT and Trishelle.
Yeah.
And then this season, it's like Mark Ballas and Eric. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay. Um, but no, I agree. It was entertaining. It had some frustrating moments. It kind of like once Candace left, it kind of went downhill. It had some moments
Definitely.
that were good, but
Yeah.
overall, it was fine. Rob,
Bittersweet.
you bittersweet. Rob played a great game. Got to give him
He did.
credit. I think, some people are saying that Maura was dickmatized by him. Maybe slightly. She says she wasn't. I kind of believe she wasn't. I think she just trusted him because she's simple minded.
I think she trusted him because she knew him. It's like
Yeah.
when you're in a situation where there's like what it started with like 28 of them,
Yeah. Like
25,
so many of them.
and you don't know anybody really well, and you've spent a decent amount of time with somebody, and they're like helping you on missions and stuff. Like he he took his time to foster a relationship with her. Like he was very intent on doing that, and he did it well. So.
Yeah. And like she's like, I know you. You won't lie to me, right?
Oh, but at the end, didn't he said something kind of flirtatious, like, do you think, or Mora's not gonna kiss me now, or Mora's not gonna date me now, or something, or like, I don't
There
know. It
was
was like some
something.
kind
There
of
were
weird joke of
yeah. And
alluding to a relationship with Mora.
that was one thing brought up at the reunion. Andy was like, people think you have great chemistry. And Maura's like, everyone says it, but we're just friends. Like they own up to flirting, but it was just fun.
Yeah,
So, oh, and Rob does have a girlfriend. He's been dating someone for 2 months.
cool. Good
So,
luck, babe.
on that note, thank y'all so much for
Thank
listening.
you.
This ends Traitors. Can't wait for the next season. But in the meantime, in between time, make sure you rate and review us on Apple Podcasts. Give us 5 stars. If you leave a
Yes.
review, we love to shout those out. On Spotify, you can also give us 5 stars and you can comment on the episodes. We respond to those. It's super fun. If you want to see our beautiful faces, instead of just listening to our beautiful voices, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel at the Shave It All Podcast. We post fun clips on TikTok at the Shave It All Podcast. We have our Instagram at Shade It All Pod that we'll be deleting soon, but if you want to follow it, do it. And then we have our Patreon at the Shade of It All, where every week for only $3 a month, we watch shows live. We are wrapping up Potomac this week. It's going to have the final part of its reunion, but then after that, we're going to be doing Summer House. So yeah, for just $3 a month, you can watch live with us every week. But with that being said, we'll talk to y'all next time. Bye.
Bye.